Good morning. There's a couple of plays yesterday. One of them was in the tennis. Nice green screen. How did we achieve this green screen? Well, let's have a look. It was the third set. We've got a 1.11 pre-match favourite. You can see there. Zheng, world number 8. Third set, deciding set. It's not looking too good. She loses her first service match, first service game. Now it becomes 1-3, 2-3. 2-4, 5-2. Here is where I get involved. 5-2 to the underdog, deciding set of a Grand Slam against a world number 8, who was a 1.11 favourite. What you're going to do, you're going to be laying either, what's the name, or backing Zheng. Prepare for the comeback. Boom, immediately gets a game back. 4-5, boom, gets 2 back. 6-5, I'm out. Don't even have to wait for the second set to finish. I'm out. 6-5, that's when I got out. That's when I advise you to get out. Nice game. And she didn't even win the set, Zheng. That's the beauty of trading. You don't have to get the final result correct. It's all about what happens in play. From a football perspective, the only real match I unpacked was Malmo. And in that regard, you're either going to go with the match odds market or you're going to go with the +1. +1 is far more preferable, particularly when you're getting involved in a trade in the second half when Malmo are away from home and they've only got one half to score 2 goals to get the win. But my hands were tied. The +1 market, if you took out insurance, the +1 market was very uncompetitive. So the caveat being, if you took out insurance. This was your loss on the late equalising, but they called it right. £1.21 loss on the draw. Where if you'd gone match odds, you'd have made pretty much double your money minus your insurance premium. So you've still got out with a fair amount. So do remember that. Malmo +1, it's the equivalent of laying Bromma. Malmo +1 covers Malmo and the draw. You go match odds, the draw is exposed. If you go match odds, you need a quick equaliser for Malmo. We did also lay the draw second half. Bromma scored to make it 2-1. The draw odds flatlined. You cash out then. Let's have a look at some other matches yesterday. I think that was about it. Champions League, of course, well, rather inevitable, wasn't it? Dortmund, Dani Carvajal header. Well, 2 goals. Wow. I didn't stay up for the second goal. Junior Vinicius, of course, with a Bellingham assist, of course. I didn't play. Not for me, these high-profile matches. In the Allsvenskan, very difficult to pick out some of these matches. 2.45 the favourite, etc. Look at that for Sirius. Sirius, very hard to read. Can limp in some matches and suddenly score 5 goals. In the Superettan, very little to interest me there yesterday as well. So keep the powder dry. Norway was the only other league of interest, I believe. Very little to interest me there as well. We're just trying to dig out 1 or 2 profitable plays throughout the day in the tennis and the football. Norwegian Obosligaen, not much to interest me there, I'm afraid. I didn't find anything strong. Egersund and Raufoss, we'd be looking at possibility of both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. But we did get that with a late Osterud goal. I was expecting more of Egersund, a kind of a Kevin Keegan side, tend to score more than their opponent. Anything else in the tennis yesterday before I move on? Well, you've got another 2-0 to 2-1, as you can see there. Always happens, or happens quite a lot of the time in men's Grand Slam tennis. Again, we've got a 2-1 lead here. Griekspoor must win the next set to stay in. Great performance from Griekspoor yesterday against 1.1 favourite Zverev. Hurkacz dropping a set again, as I suggested he would. 2-0 to 2-1. It's a consistent pattern in men's Grand Slam tennis. Of course, it's the first to 5. And then great stuff from Thanasi Kokkinakis, mate. Struth, he won the set there, mate. Struth, mate. Stick them in your budgie smugglers, mate. 2-2, mate. Struth. So good stuff from Thanasi Kokkinakis, mate. Obviously on a comeback, I think, after quite a while with injury, he is climbing up the rankings. He's going to be someone to watch out for. Taylor Fritz, reliable as ever. What a pity. Thanasi Kokkinakis didn't win the first 2 sets. Casper Ruud and Etcheverry, no real problems there. Novak Djokovic, I would always take them on. We did get a bit of fun from Musetti here, 2-1 up. As I said to you yesterday, take Novak Djokovic after he won the first set. He has lost 2 matches this season at odds of 1.1 and lower. Now, if he's at 1.2, it suggests it's going to be a tougher fixture for Novak. He's coming to the end of his career, I believe. He's starting to look vulnerable, even though he's a world number 1. He's gettable. So if you took him on there, well done. And in the ladies' game yesterday, Juan Navarro and Madison Keys. I would have looked to have taken on Madison Keys as she won the first set. This is a difficult one to unpack because they're both Americans, so they know each other's game rather well. The best angle would be to take the odds-on favourite on if she won the first set. Elsewhere, not much else to catch our attention apart from Zheng. Got that nice play yesterday. Looking on to today, well, we can look at the tennis initially. It's getting deeper into the tournament now, and that means all of the form players remain, which makes trading a lot more difficult. Moutet could give Sinner something to work with. He's a Frenchman deep in the French Open. He's going to have huge support. Sinner, again at 1.05, got to be laid in the Grand Slam at those odds. Ridiculous odds. Best of 5 sets as well. You saw what happened to Novak yesterday. Went 2-1 down. 1.05, got to lay Jannik Sinner. Hurkacz is not even odds-on favourite now. He's been odds-on for his last 3 matches. Take the hint. A suggestion here of a 5-setter with even Stevens. Basically, evens and 1.8 is even Stevens. French Open. Women. Iga Swiatek got to be laid at 103. Goodness sake. Well, you're not going to be backing her, are you? Especially if she wins the first set, it's a lay to nothing. Don't forget, Potapova is here because she's been winning the early rounds, of course. Doesn't take a Wayne Rooney football genius to tell you that. Looking on to today's footy, and it's the last day of the season for Atalanta Fiorentina, both involved in European finals. 1.48 the favourite. Atalanta have a top 3 berth to think about. Lookman has been in outstanding form. Last match of the season for the Europa League champions, front of home support. Even though it's a dead rubber-ish, I would expect Atalanta to seal the deal. Excelsior and Nat Breda. This is a 2-6 lead for Nat Breda from the first leg. It looks done and dusted. They can afford to lose 2 or 3-0 today, so just be careful. All right, if the Excelsior have a 2-0 lead or even a 3-0 lead, Nat Breda can afford that. It's the last day of the season in Spanish La Liga 2, and I've already given you the options. Let's have a look. Last day of the season, Valladolid are guaranteed automatic promotion, but the title is up for grabs. Must win for Leganes. And Valladolid, are they going to be concerned? They're already up in La Liga. That's the prize. Sporting Gijón will keep Racing Santander, Real Oviedo honest. A win for Gijón and a loss for any of these two. We'll see Gijón take their place in the promotion playoffs. So huge match for Sporting Gijón today. And at the bottom, Alcorcón are down. You can tell that by the arrow. And Andorra down. Villarreal B are down. But why are they down? Probably goal difference. Because a win today takes them to 46. So Miranda's need to lose heavily. Alcorcón need to win heavily. So it's still doable mathematically, but not realistically. Amorebieta, therefore, and Mirandes are going to be vying for the relegation point. Again, we've got minus 15. If they get a win today, they're on 48. Got plus 3 playing minus 15. So it's likely, realistically, Amorebieta and Mirandes at the bottom. It's well, it's not on the same time, which is interesting. I don't understand that. But there'll be some dead rubbers today. But I'll work my way through those for you. In the Allsvenskan, Djurgården have impressed this season. I would be looking for them at home. But as ever, 2.63, 2.45 the favourite. And we've got the Superettan as well, which I just don't like. I try my hardest in these leagues, but there's a lack of consistency. Form lines don't tend to follow week in and week out as you get in a superior league. Italian Serie A, for example. English Premier League. You don't get this kind of consistency and reliability in these lower tiers. But I'll be on hand if there is anything. It'll have to be in-play stats based more than anything. And that's really it for today. No live stream, of course, because we've got sporadic football throughout the day. You can't really do a live stream. Molde and Viking in the Norwegian Eliteserien. That's kicking off today as well. 1.6 favourite, but fourth against fifth. Question marks about the form lines, because there is none against the top four, top five teams. Got that gap in form yet again. Molde yet to play the top five at home. They're playing fifth today. Question mark. How do they perform against top five? Struggle or improve? Bodo Glimt, I don't know what to make of them. No win in 3. Poor midweek. The equaliser they got was a penalty, and they didn't turn up second half, Bodo Glimt. Now, bear in mind, they were away from home today as well. They could struggle, but they can't keep going on winless. 3 matches in a row now, winless. 2 consecutive wins for Haugesund as well. So Bodo Glimt, you've got to make sure the in-play stats are there. They weren't there midweek. KFUM Oslo and Sandefjord on seasonal form. KFUM do their winning against teams below them in the league. It's his 7th against 15th today. Sandefjord are yet to win away. Kristiansund and Sarpsborg, 2.37 the favourite. Oh dear, can't really pick a winner. But Kristiansund have kept only 1 clean sheet at home, so they might concede today. Strom Godset and Odd. Strom's form against 7th and lower sees me favour them today. They're playing 10th today. They're looking okay. Win, draw, loss, win at home. So I'll stick with Strom, not to lose. Tromso and Lillestrøm. Keep an eye out for Tromso, who have been superb at home. They were brilliant midweek against Fredrikstad. They've scored 3+ goals, I think, in each of the last 3 matches. All wins at home. They blew Fred away midweek, and Fredrikstad are a pretty solid side form-wise. But the market got them right, so watch out for Lillestrøm today. Tromso have found the key to scoring 3+ goals at home. Rosenborg and Fred. Well, Fred were poor midweek. Only 2 defeats. Had me expecting a better performance from them. 3-0 loss against Tromso midweek. Both teams have scored 6 out of 7 Rosenborg matches. That might happen today. And Djurgården, I like Djurgården. And Hammarby arrest their losing run. So Hammarby are losing away. So you've got to default to Djurgården today on that basis. Häcken and AIK. Häcken may be meeting AIK at the right time. Unlock 2+ goals again at home for Häcken, possibly. They're scoring 2+ goals plentifully at home. All bar 2 over 2.5 goal matches this season. Both teams have scored in the last 5 at home as well. So expect those patterns with Häcken today. AIK, 3 consecutive away defeats. They are gettable. Varnamo and Mjällby might see goals before half-time, with Varnamo conceding mostly second half. Deep joy, of course, with the Superettan. I'll leave you to research these yourself. Read these yourself. Side second bottom, our favourite, Varberg. This is what mystifies me about this league. You're second from bottom, only 2 wins all season, but you're a 1.67 favourite. Only kept 1 clean sheet. Skövde, 2 wins were only 0-1. That might give us an angle in if Skövde score first. Insurance play. So I'll see you throughout the day this Sunday. Hopefully I can dig out some more tennis and football. And don't forget that question mark. Do I go +1 or do I go match odds? If I go match odds, I've got the chance of a bigger return. But if the match ends in a draw, I will actually be facing a net loss. If I go +1, I've got the assurance that any late equaliser, and it was a late equaliser for Malmo yesterday, will be covered by the Malmo +1. Don't forget, in all cases, +1 is exactly the same as laying the opposing side. Let's just show you that before I go. Let's go to the Djurgården match, even though I've just butchered the spelling. So what we should see here is that if you laid Hammarby now with a £40 liability, it's the same as backing Djurgården +1 with a £40 stake. Let's check that out. £11.20 return. Go to Djurgården +1. Back Djurgården +1 for £40. Should be 11 quid return. There we go. Okay. So don't forget that in the future. And in the future, if the +1 market is illiquid, you can always go into the match odds. And instead of a stake, you'd be laying as liability. So that would be effectively your stake. You're getting exactly the same return. But I prefer the +1. Had you done that with Malmo yesterday, you'd have seen you've got the draw covered. Rather than going this route of halving your stakes, and you'll see there's an exposure on the draw. So, for example, backing Djurgården, laying Hammarby, got that exposure on the draw, haven't you? That's the problem. So have a think. That's why I always give you those two options. I give you the match odds option and I give you the +1 option all the time. Have a great day. I'll see you throughout the day for the tennis, which is getting more difficult now, I'm afraid. So I might just take a back seat on the tennis because, of course, the cream is rising to the top each day. Have a great day. I'll see you certainly for the Spanish La Liga end of the season. And we've got a nice technique in profiting from last days of the season and for the sporadic Swedish matches which are on throughout the day. Atalanta, Fiorentina, it's a dead rubber unless Atalanta are keen to finish in the top 3. Have a great day. See you throughout the day on Telegram for members of footballtradingprofits.com. And I'll see you later.